What is going on, friends? It is Ben with Bearded Spruce back for another video. This shop right behind me just got finished about a month ago and I am done moving in, so I'm going to do a full walkthrough of what is in there right now, how it's laid out, and then what plans I have in the future. I'm also going to go over what comes with a new build like this in case you guys are thinking about building a shop on your own. Full disclosure, I did not do the construction or the architectural plans for this shop. I actually partnered with a local garage building company in Denver that came up and was awesome throughout the process. I did get a chance to help design it and to put my own kind of twist on the garage, if you will, build, but we'll jump into that in a little bit. First thing, I want to welcome everyone to this video and to my channel. If you have been watching my videos for a while, welcome back. Thank you so much for supporting me. If this is the first time you're seeing one of my videos, welcome. I'm super excited to have you. For the most part, I do a lot of house projects and kind of walk through how to DIY a lot of projects on the cheap. I also have this 1972 Airstream that I am dying to get back to working on, which actually was the precipice for this channel. And now that we have a mountain house almost done up in the mountains, I believe we're gonna bring it up there and finish it as a little Airbnb, which is gonna be such a fun project to continue. Some other videos that I've done is a modern barn door, some Adirondack chairs, and a smattering of other projects. So let's jump into the shop and we'll get started. We'll give a quick rundown of the specs of the shop. So it's 16 by 20 feet. I did a single pitched roof, which gave me tons of room inside. So in the back of the shop, 10-foot ceilings. And then in the front of the shop, it goes up to 16-foot ceilings. So I have plenty of room for long pieces of lumber to lean up against the wall or to maneuver big pieces of sheet goods. Some other specs about it is it does have one service door and then a garage door. I upgraded the garage door to a windowed with a black frame to match the color of the outside of the building. Part of the reason why I did the window glass pane garage door is to have some extra natural light. I chose to have minimal windows on 3 of the walls, so I had plenty of places to build shelves and to build cabinetry and whatever else I end up needing. And so I wanted to have plenty of natural light on what's actually the north side of the building. And so, as you could have seen on the outside, I have a big glass garage door and then 4 little windows up top for both ventilation and some more natural light to come in throughout the day. So let's jump into some things that came standard with this garage slash shop build. So one of the main things that you need in the shop, obviously, is a lot of power. I have so many saws, dust collection. I'm gonna add some air conditioning unit, like a mini split or something like that. There's just a never-ending selection of things that are gonna need power. So this is a sub panel. I believe it's a 70 amp panel that connects to my main panel, obviously. As I continue to build things out, I have more room to expand. And then, like I mentioned, here is that huge glass door that slides up out of the way. So in the summer and spring and fall, sometimes in the winter here in Denver, I can just open it up and get some breathing room. And then as you walk around, you can kind of see that you have plenty of room inside. Like I said, a single pitch roof really opens up the possibilities for just very tall ceilings. You can see I added 4 windows up there that just add a little extra light and a little design feature. And then as you walk over here, here's the access door. And then if I kind of scroll around, you can see that I didn't add any extra windows. It's also just on a pretty simple slab with a footer. Since I did get the taller ceilings, I wanted to make sure that it was a solid foundation, obviously. So it costs a little bit extra to get that foundation for this bigger, taller building, but in the end, I think it turned out super well, and it's going to be a lot more functional that way. The other things that come standard is, and this is just with my company that I go with, but I think the other quotes that I got were similar. So you get an exterior light, which is to code, which is right outside the access door. You can see the internal little guy there. And then you get one light inside, which is that guy. I'll have to expand the light, in here, because that's very important. And I'll do a whole video on how I'm going to do that and what lights I choose. And then there's 3 outlets inside. So there's one that you can see the little yellow cord behind my tool cabinet, one on that wall where my miter saw is stationed currently, and then one that I chose over here. And then there's a third one that's an exterior outlet that was also included. So that's the electrical package. And then in terms of really anything else, you have some simple framing, some trusses, the garage door. I got it painted outside, but it's a pretty simple setup when it's finished. Let's hop into how I have things arranged, what tools I have currently. One thing I wanted to mention is that I'm going to try my best to spend this next year, maybe one a month or so, on a tool review that I have. I've had most of these tools for 2+ years, and I feel like at that point I've had a lot of experience with them, and I know the ins and outs of them. And so I typically don't like to just buy a tool and review it right away because I haven't used it. And so I try to have it for at least a year. And since I've had most of these for over 2 years now, I think it's a good time to start reviewing them. On that note, here's some tools that I have. So here is my saw stop, table saw. It is actually currently a review that I have on my channel, so I'll link in the description below, as well as put up a link up top if you guys want to check that out. And then my tool chest, this is where I pretty much keep any tool that I have in terms of hand tools, drills, batteries. This is where I charge everything. You'll see how messy it is right now because I still need to arrange things, but any power tools in terms of battery components and all that kind of stuff is in this tool chest. This is what I call my finishing chest. So I have all my sandpaper, my sanding tools, little finishing trinkets, anything that has to do with me, finishing stuff. So paintbrushes, all that kind of stuff goes in this little chest. And then obviously right above it, I have my 13-inch planer. This thing is awesome. I will do a review very soon on it. It is just a beautiful piece of equipment. I have a little bit of wood storage, just vertical storage in this corner, as well as some tools hung up that I use on a regular basis. My space heaters, which thankfully I don't really need a ton, even in the winter here, because turns out when you paint a building black, the south side of the building that faces the sun most of the day just radiates heat. So I can actually feel heat coming off of this wall right now, which was awesome in the winter. Won't be so great in the summer, but we'll get there. So here's my miter station right now. This is going to be one of my first projects. I really need to get my miter station nailed down and some cabinetry. I'm still trying to figure out where exactly I want the miter saw, because sometimes with big sheet goods, it gets in the way of me trying to work with my table saw. So I think a rearrange is going to be needed, which is nice that I have things on wheels right now. With my miter saw right now, I have a Cyclone and a shop vac for my dust collection for just my miter saw. I pretty much have this connected at all times because it just connects to the back of the miter saw there, and it does a pretty decent job collecting dust in that Cyclone. And then I have my router table. This is really fun. I've really enjoyed this miter table. I definitely need to make some upgrades and maybe figure out how to connect it into my table saw to kind of minimize the footprint of it. But for the most part, it's great. And then this is one of my favorite tools, one of my favorite purchases in my shop in terms of a budget purchase. This drill press is so much bang for the buck. I think this is going to be my first step tool to review, because I saved some major dollars and this thing is a solid piece of equipment, which is super cool. Dust collection, I have the Dust Right 650 with a slight modification. This thing is just, what can I say? It collects a bunch of dust. For the most part, I use it just for my table saw currently, but I have plans to customize and add some accessories, such as like a track on the roof to have some extra pipes and extra accessories for dust collection in the near future. And then I have my sheet good collection over here. So as you can see, I have a ton of work to do to really customize this shop, but I'm super pleased so far. I really like the fact that I had everything on wheels previously and could have everything on wheels in this shop, so I can really figure out exactly where I want things before I build them into the shop itself. Some really fun plans that I have in store for this spring is one, I want to add some lighting out front. I have one light, like I mentioned, right by the access door, but I want to connect that light not only to two more lights to the sides of the garage door for just kind of accent lighting, but I'm also going to make it a smart light so I can have it on in the evenings and maybe early mornings, just so it kind of lights up our backyard. So I'll have that video coming very soon. I'm also going to, as you probably noticed right away when I showed my table saw, I don't have an outfeed table currently. I'm using my old outfeed table that I learned a ton about, just table construction and what not to do in terms of an outfeed table, in that corner table that has my drill press and my router table right now. So I'm going to build a new outfeed table that will also be an awesome workbench in the near future. And then, like I mentioned before, a miter station is going to be key to making sure everything that comes out of my shop is just top notch. So that will be coming, as well as some cabinetry. I've built a decent amount of cabinetry in the last year, and so I'm excited to share some really quick, easy win tips and tricks on how to build cabinetry quick and efficiently, as well as just cost effective from buying them at the big box store, right? If you haven't already and you're still watching this video, hit that like button and smash that subscribe button, because I'm gonna be cranking out a ton of videos this next year, not only about this shop, but some other projects that I'm doing around the house. We have some exciting things coming, including a basement reveal. I built a wet bar down there, finished a bathroom, and finished some other rooms, and it's going to be really fun to just check it out and see what we've been doing around our house. My wife is an amazing designer in terms of just picking colors and finishes, and it has just come together so well. So I'm excited to share that soon. I'm gonna link all the tools that I have in my shop today in affiliate links below, and feel free to shop through those. It doesn't matter what you guys buy. It just kind of gives me a little boost of confidence and excitement to continue to make these videos. So until next time, have a good one.